Hello everyone, I'm Rashmi Bhandary and today I've got two of my students who've got into Japanese companies. So we have Mohammad Rashik from IS branch and Pratik Shetty again from IS. So hello both of you.
Hello.
Yeah, so great to have the two of them. And so they are going to talk about how they've got into it, and also for anyone who's preparing for any of these Japanese companies, because there's a huge dearth of engineers in Japan. You know, they have an aging population, so they want students, and a lot of Indian students actually are not aware of it. So you know, if you know about these opportunities, you can always apply. And so Rashik, and the packages are pretty good. Okay, it can range anywhere between 20 to 30 lakhs per annum. So Rashik, so tell me, what were the rounds?
Usually there are 3 to 4 rounds. First it will be the application round. In this you have to fill the basic of your name, email IDs, CGPA, you have to upload your resumes, and there will be some questions like what kind of engineer do you want to be, and why this company, do you, how do you,
how do you want to see yourself in the next few years?
Few years.
Yeah.
Few years,
Okay,
yeah.
5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. I think,
and also there will be Japan specific questions. Like
Okay.
why do you like Japan? Why do you want to work in the company? And if selected, what will be your concerns in living in Japan? Those kind of questions.
Okay, so these questions, what does an average student do? Do they Google it and paste it, or do you write your own, or how is it?
So I feel like it's better to write on our own, because even they suggest that write from your heart. You know, that's better, because if you copy paste it, they'll come to know it when they translate it. But if you're writing it on your own, so you know, it'll be more accurate and more specific towards the details required for the answers.
All
For the
right.
questions.
So how long are these answers? Do they tell? The length?
Yeah, actually we shouldn't write more than 5 lines. 5 lines is the maximum. It's the limit.
All right.
So
And
it's like not too short, not too long.
Not too
yeah,
long.
quality
All right.
matters.
All right. And before we go further, Rashik and I think even Pratik, you know a little bit of Japanese, right? So actually, Rashik, can you just tell something in Japanese, or maybe just introduce yourself or say something for the viewers? Because if you listen to him, I was so surprised. He's still studying, and the way, because when the Japanese delegation came to our college and they met him, and this boy introduced himself and he was speaking as like a native. I mean, it was so nice and heartening to listen to you. Yeah.
Actually, in the interview process, I introduced myself in Japanese.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah.
And that's the basic rule.
Oh, that's a rule? Everyone has to?
Yeah, you have to.
And
So how do you
they
learn
won't
that much?
They won't expect us to speak any Japanese, but it's a big plus.
It's a big plus. So even one line or two
No,
line?
not one line. Like the whole
Yeah?
sentence, like your name, then your college.
Okay, Pratik, you say something.
Okay.
You start off with Pratik. Just 2 lines or
yeah,
something.
okay. Minasan konnichiwa. Pratik so moshimasu. Saito de kuno gapse desu. Then like you keep.
So what did you say? I'm Pratik.
Yeah, like I told like hello everyone. Like I'm Pratik. I'm from Sayadri. Then I'm from information science background. Then like what all the skills I know. Then I told my hobbies.
All right, great. So let us just have a little bit of a sample from you. What did you? Could you say something?
Yes.
Yeah.
皆さんこんにちは。はじめまして。ラシックと申します。本日は忙しい中、インタビューにご回答いただきありがとうございました。ラシックと申します。サイアドリ大学でインフォメーションサイエンスを勉強しています。C++ と HTML ができます。時間があるときは友人と出かけたり、新しいことに挑戦したりするのが好きです。また、アニメを見たり、漫画を読んだり、家族と過ごしたりするのが好きです。日本ではいろいろな料理を試してみたいのですが、特にラーメン、そばが食べてみたいです。そして日本では厳島神社、伏見稲荷会社にも行ってみたいです。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。And then
Okay, like this is like he speaks. I can't even speak English like the way he speaks Nihongo. It's called Nihongo, by the way. It's not Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you learn so much, Rashik?
During the COVID-19 crisis.
So before you applied, in your 3rd year itself you studied, or second year?
Second year.
Second year, okay. So if you're a first year, second year, please learn. And how do you learn this?
I used to watch animes and read Japanese mangas and stuff.
Okay.
So
And most of the
that
kids do this.
Yeah,
Most students are into all
like,
this.
You learn it. Like, you learn if you watch more and more anime. Like that's how I learned. Like I didn't do
Okay.
any courses.
Uh-huh.
Like, all the words that I know is everything from anime itself. So
All right. Alright, so students, don't be very scared. It's not that you have to give your interview in Nihongo or Japanese. It's going to be an English average interview. If you know a little bit, one or two lines to introduce, it is very nice because since the competition is stiffening. See, let me tell you, the first batch when we had our students going to Japan, none of them spoke, okay? I remember I was there for the interview. Everyone was speaking in English. But I think you can have an edge if you introduce yourself in Japanese. Alright, yeah. So next, what was the next round?
Next round, okay, the first one was application.
Application. So there is a rejection in the application itself.
Yes, of course.
Like more than around 150 200 people apply for that. So out of that, around 10 to 20 get selected.
Only that much, is it? Oh, so everyone sort of messes it up over there.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, so this is another thing. Anytime we have a written application form, don't think it's just filling something. Every round is an elimination round. All right.
And so they tell us that your placement starts from the application round itself.
Okay.
Because the company sees that how you write answers, like what all details you put and what efforts did you put there.
Okay.
So even then can you tell us.
All right.
The placement starts right from the placement form.
All right. Very nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then they will send assignments like a coding round, or there will be a title coding round like.
Oh,
coding
so
and
even they
typing.
have coding, is it?
Yeah, sometimes they send
Assignment questions.
Okay.
They give some assignment questions, like from my past companies I had that.
So like what assignment questions? Can you give some examples?
Maybe like any coding questions or like recently I guess like new companies are coming in, they are like very tough questions. One of our friends is writing it. Two tough questions.
Yeah, but the initial ones were not as tough.
No, they were fine. Like he had for his previous company, Santa.
Yeah, there was one personality questions. Like if this happens, what will you do?
Okay.
Those kinds of questions also. Like I had to answer 150 personality questions also for one of the companies.
One of the companies.
Yeah.
I think they really want to see the right fit, right? It's not about just getting a good candidate, even a candidate who's culturally sensitized and would want to work in Japan. All right.
They would prefer people who really like Japan rather than not just have skills. You should be passionate about Japan.
So when they're asking these coding questions, when you write coding for the Indian, I'm sure you've written some of the Indian companies also. So how tough would you say? Are this more tough? Or the Japanese one is tough, or the Indian one?
I guess it's both the same.
Both the same. So the same sort of coding questions which you get in Hacker Rank, all
those
those.
Are fine, those are fine.
Those are the ones that they're
those
asking.
are fine.
And mid-level difficulty or
mid-level.
Mid-level. All right. Okay, then after that coding round or assignment, what is the next?
Then the interview. Interview process starts. First they will give a company presentation, and then each person will get 20 to 30 minutes.
So it depends. Like depends on company. If there are more number of people, they'll keep JD or GD. There, like they'll divide maybe 5 to 7 people or something like that. If there are less people, directly face-to-face interview.
Okay.
One-on-one.
So GD topics, do you remember? Did you attend any of the GDs?
Like I attended two. No, GD is like more like why you want to go to Japan? Like where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
All right. Oh, not 10 years and not even 5 years.
Yeah,
so see, they're very serious about you joining the company. Not like, I'm joining a company, I'm going to leave it in a couple of years.
They want people who will stay for a longer time. They expect you to stay for more than 5 years.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Not even 5, okay? In Japan, it is like lifelong, okay? That's what they expect. For us, 10 years is also a lifetime.
Expect is loyalty, that's it.
Yes. All right. So the GD topics are also based on that. All right. And anything else after that, after the GD, then what any other round? Personal interview?
First will be, personal interview, and last will be the HR interviews.
Okay.
So in personal, it's more about our like the technical stuff.
Okay.
Like, they ask what did you do in college, like what did you learn, like from where do you learn all this stuff.
Okay.
And similar.
And they don't ask any technical questions during the PI?
They ask sometimes. It depends upon some companies.
All right.
Depends upon companies.
And do they have an interpreter?
Yes.
They have an interpreter.
Yes, they have an interpreter.
Okay. So that gives you a little bit extra time, is it?
Yeah, because sometimes if we mess up in English, they'll tell it smoothly in Japanese.
But you really don't know what they said. No, but then when by the time the question is, you don't get extra time because they say in Japanese and then it's in English and then you have to answer. All right, but then I think you don't answer at a stretch. You speak some two sentences and then you stop so that he translates. So that gives you that time, extra time to think about the next sentence.
Because even the interpreter needs some time to think and understand.
Yes, so they give you all this orientation before itself that you can't speak all of it at a stretch and speak a few sentences and then.
Yes, ma'am.
They tell us like don't speak too fast and don't talk more. Speak in few lines, then wait, let it translate, then again speak.
And I think there are a lot of questions on projects, right?
Yeah.
They're very fascinated by
In the interview round, projects are very important.
Alright.
The way you present them. They will ask us to create a PPT. And it's better if you create less than 4 slides because you don't have much time and you have to include all the information like how many team members, the languages used and those stuff. So project is very important.
And they prefer more of not the college based but personal projects. They want that more. So I would suggest people to start with personal projects.
But then you all do personal only, or you do this college?
Like we include our college one also, but they prefer more of personal.
All right. But maybe your personal project is not as great. It's not a very good quality.
No, I guess people can do it, according to the if they haven't done anything, when they get the JD and you'll get to know what the company wants. I guess they can do it according to that also.
After they get it.
Yeah, time will be there.
Okay, all right.
If they're really serious about it,
they can still do something. All right. Okay. So and what was the HR interview about?
HR interview mostly personality questions.
All right.
Mostly personality questions, and when they ask something like, can you comply with this? Can you do this? Or can you do something? First, you have to say the conclusion. In every Japanese interviews, yes or no should be the first answer.
All right.
And then you have to start explaining.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. And but still, it looks like personality questions simple, but everything is an elimination, right? So it looks like they ask simple questions, but based on that also they start eliminating. My question to you is, why do you both want to actually go to Japan? Why not? I mean, we also get equally good Indian companies which pay good. So what's your motivation?
For both of us, it has been actually a dream to work in Japan.
Is it? Yeah, okay.
From the very beginning. And first it was not a reality.
All right.
Yeah, but now then Zenkin came.
Yeah, so you're very happy about it. Okay.
Yes, okay.
So what about you?
I used to watch animes and manga.
All right. Okay.
And I got hooked into Japan.
Yes. All right.
I started learning Japanese language in second year.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
All right. And what about? And by the way, I mean, please tell the audience what are the perks. You get your visa is I think 80 valid in how many countries? 80 plus, right? A Japanese visa.
Japanese passport is the number one in the whole world.
Oh, number one is it? Okay. All right. So you are allowed in over 80 plus countries. I mean, that was the last. I think maybe it's increased to more than 80 countries also. And then you also get your citizenship, right?
That's after 5 years.
After 5 years, but you get a citizenship, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you can get your family also. So that's an added. And I think you also get a 14-month salary. The salary is 14, right? Because you get 2 bonuses.
Yeah, 2 bonuses.
2 bonuses.
2 bonuses and
for me, but the bonus is according to the company performance.
All right, but actually in Japan, I think the general culture is you get a bonus provided whatever. It's not like in India that only a few will get and the others don't get it. Everyone gets it because everyone actually works hard and everyone gets it.
Yes.
All right.
And in my company, it's like you will have to work 40 hours per week. Time doesn't matter.
All right.
You can work whenever you wish.
Okay, 40 hours, huh?
40 hours.
So that's not very, that's not too much, right? All right. So, anything else that you want to share with your juniors? Any final thoughts to any junior who's actually preparing to go to Japan?
One thing I can tell is, not to give up too early. You might get rejected from the very beginning itself.
How many companies did you try?
3.
Okay.
3.
So you applied for more than 10 companies.
I applied for more than 10 companies.
Okay.
Yeah, more than 10 to 15 companies.
All right.
The first company which I went till final round, and out of 3 they took only one. They took 2 people, so I was left out. So yeah. So one thing is, don't give up. Keep applying until the end.
All right.
Yeah, in one of my companies, none of them were selected. So in the last company, I got.
So thank you very much, and I hope it was helpful. Till we meet again, it's bye from all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.